Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here with my guest host and my friend Vaughn. Appreciate Vaughn for coming on yet again early in the morning. Again, if you want to introduce yourself to the world, people that are new to the show, Vaughn came on about a month and a half ago. We had a good podcast, and now he's back on yet again.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be back, man. This is incredible opportunity to talk about all things sports. The Fire Podcast, one of the best to do it. So I'm just honored. I'm glad. It's another fellow Montclair State student, journalism major, sports communication major, and yeah, I can't wait to get into it, man.
All right, let's get right into it, Vaughn. What you say? All right, so we're going to be going over a mock draft that me and Vaughn are going to kind of create / agree with the things that maybe ESPN has put on. We're going to go through 1 through 30, which is the first round. Second round, we're not going to go over. We're just going to touch on the Lakers' 55th pick because it's going to be the biggest talk of the NBA draft, really. And it's going to be where Bronny James is going to end up. We have the Lakers have a 17th pick in the first round, and we have a 55th pick in the second round. So do we go with a top candidate in the top 20, or do we pick Bronny because we're afraid that somebody else is going to pick him up before we get to him at the 55th pick? Because there's only 58 picks in the second round, and there's only 30 in the first. So we're at the back end of the second round, and that might be like some turmoil because we might not be able to get Bronny where we want him to. So we'll see what happens. But first up is the Atlanta Hawks. Now, the Atlanta Hawks have some different things. Again, the draft is going to be coming on June 26th. We'll see what happens as that day comes in fruition. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of mock drafts. But from Bleacher Report, they have Atlanta Hawks picking Zaire Rasheer. He is a hold up. He is a team. He's from the GL Barg and Breeze position, shooting guard / a small forward, size 6'8", 204 pounds, age 19. His nationality is French. Pro comparison, Bleacher Report gives him he's a pro comparison to Harrison Barnes. Rival teams continue to guess who the Atlanta Hawks prefer at number 1, and we continue to give the edge to Zaire Rasheer, a perceived safe pick with a valued archetype and pathways to improve and bust through the 3 and D level he brings to JL Borg. While scouts continue to debate the height of Rasheer's ceiling, there is a perceived level of certainty tied to the positional size, shooting, and defensive tools / quickness that could sway Hawks to lean his way without sure thing star at the top. Injury problems with Shadir Bey and AJ Griffin could also help the case for Rasheer to be in Atlanta. So what do you think of Bleacher Report saying the Hawks will pick Zaire Rasheer? I mean, he's from his nationality is French. He doesn't play. I don't believe he plays in the U.S., so he's overseas. What are your thoughts on Rasheer?
I mean, initially, I will say that this is a solid pick. He has the size, he has the quickness.
Yeah,
You one of the things coaches love to say, you can't teach height and you can't teach athleticism. That's something that you can to some extent
yeah,
grow a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. But when you have those natural abilities to be one of the fastest and quickest on the floor at that size, that's a golden type pick. And then also, if you've seen in the last few years or so, not every pick that you get from overseas has been like a Luka or a Giannis but you do sometimes have your Dante Exums that had a high ceiling, but what happened wasn't what we expected. But I can see, just based off his body type, it could be a better transition to the league in the U.S. And a lot of times that when we pick players who didn't have a lot of like U.S. experience, still like got Victor, that still is able to exceed a lot of expectations.
yeah. Well, also helps him, like you said, height. He's 7'4", so that really helps him too.
Yeah, that's right. The height definitely made it.
Yeah,
The height
definitely.
definitely made a difference for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely changed some eyes as looking at a 7'4" dude that can basically
Absolutely.
is basically Kevin Durant, just 3 inches taller, 4
Yeah, you
inches
could get
taller.
Yeah, right. You could get them from Mars. It don't matter. That
Yeah,
height
exactly.
is going to translate. You're right.
Exactly. Now we do have two overseas players probably going to be picked in the top two according to Bleacher Report. I kind of agree
Okay.
with you, Vaughn, on the first pick. I think it's a safe pick,
Yeah.
especially with the injuries to Abay and Griffin, which are top
Right.
candidates coming out of college. That's why they're a little bit below the top two. If they weren't so injury prone, they probably would be going top two. So I think that's a safe pick. And again, they need height, they need size, they need quickness for the Hawks. They need somebody to pair with. Let's say if Trey Young stays or DeJounte Murray, one or the other. You need shooting, you need playmaking, and you need quickness, and you need defense. And 6'8", 204 pounds pretty much brings all that. Now,
Absolutely.
the Washington Wizards, they have been pretty ass of late. Alec, I gotta say it. They've been pretty bad.
Yeah,
Alex,
there's no other way to say it for real.
yeah, there's really none. It's no sugarcoating. They've been pretty bad.
Hmm.
The Washington Wizards, they're going to pick Alex Sarr. I'm really high on this guy. I really like him. His team is Perth Wildcats, position power forward / center. He's 7 feet tall, 224 pounds, only 19 years old. He's French nationality, and his pro comparison is Evan Mobley. I see that definitely with Sarr's game. Again, this man, the rises of success in defensive bigs and perimeter skill sets, Evan Mobley, Jared Jackson Jr., Chet Holmgren,
Hmm.
Mignana adds to allure of Sarr. He measured well in Chicago, coming in at just under 7 foot in socks, 224 pounds with a 7'4" wingspan. At the size, the ability to slide his feet, handle in the open floor, and shoot over dribble separates him from other centers. The Wizards will eventually need to find a point guard, but at number 2, Sarr's the physical talent, evolving skill versatility, and defense that creates visions of upside that could be difficult to resist. I like Sarr going to number 2. I'm going to definitely agree with Bleacher Report and to
Hmm.
take Sarr at number 2. I think out of the anything, you have a 7-foot man that has a 7'4" wingspan that basically can do a lot of things. So I definitely agree with the Wizards taking them. They need somebody to really take the reins in Washington. You have Jordan Poole there, but he didn't have the best of seasons.
He doesn't want to be there, so
Exactly. It didn't seem like he wanted to be there anyway. So yes, I
yeah.
definitely agree with that.
Hmm.
So what are your thoughts on Sarr? Do you think that's a good pick? And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it's solid. I think when it comes to that organization, you need something. So I think this gives them something potentially. I would have liked to see them get like they said a point guard or a combo guard, but having someone like you said at that size, that height, who play at that tenacity could give them some help, especially when it comes to the interior defense and offense. So yeah,
Yeah,
it could definitely be a spark.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
For me, I do like I said, I do agree. Sarr's a good pick. Now moving on to 3, you
Hmm.
have the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are at number 3. They're picking. I like this pick. This is my guy from the Kentucky Wildcats, Reed Shepherd. He was the best 30-point shooter in college basketball. He didn't really start as many games as I thought he was going to do, but he played well coming off the bench. He was a great spark when you needed it. He was one of the best 3-point shooters, if not the best percentage-wise in the college basketball last season. He didn't have the best game in the first round.
Hmm.
But again, that's what happens in college. That's why March Madness is great because you never know. A 14 seed could knock off a 1 seed, which is
Absolutely.
exactly what happened to my Kentucky Wildcats last season, yet
Yeah.
again. But he is from Kentucky. He's a point guard / shooting guard, 6'2", 182, 19. He's a freshman. He's American nationality. Pro comparison, Dante DiVincenzo. I think he's even better than Dante DiVincenzo, just his 3-point ability to make the basketball and hit
Hmm.
shots, timely shots, and big shots. I think DiVincenzo is doing that now, but I think he has a chance to do that as soon as he gets into the league. Again, I think the Rockets are very young. I would think they would need a little bit of a bigger guy. But again, you kind of need a point guard because Jalen Green is not a point guard. He's more of a slasher / shooting guard. He's not a point
Absolutely.
guard. And then you lost Kevin Porter Jr.,
Hmm.
which is supposedly the point guard because of an abuse / whatever. So he's gone. Now you need somebody. So I think this is a good pick. And you got a guy that can really pass the basketball and shoot the basketball. So I definitely agree with Reed Shepherd going at 3. What are your thoughts on Shepherd?
I definitely agree. Having that outside shooting, You said he will be considered the point guard if he does
Yeah,
come on, right?
most likely.
So
I don't
yeah.
really see anybody else that's better than him on the Rockets because I don't think Jalen Green's a point guard. I think he's more of a
Mhm.
slasher slash
Mhm.
go getter slash. All right, if you need a bucket at the end of the game, that's who you go
Right.
to. He's not that point guard.
Yeah.
Um, he's not a he's not a facilitator first. He's a guy that I'm going to drop 35, let somebody else pass the basketball, like that type of.
Yeah. I definitely seen this going in the right direction for sure. I think this is one of those picks that's going to be like a sneaker. Like
Yeah,
even though it's number 3, but
yeah,
people are probably not having the greatest expectation of what this outcome can be.
yep.
I truly think this might be one of those picks that's like, wow, he could have went number 1
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah,
Yeah,
potentially. He's that good. Just I
yeah,
think the size at number 1 and 2 are just too much.
yeah. You just can't over. Yeah, exactly.
And the teams don't need that.
Right.
Well, the Wizards kind of need a lot of things, but
They need
I'm saying
everything.
they really need everything. But I think you get that big guy Sar, and you're good to
Right.
go for the Wizards. Now at 4, the San Antonio Spurs are supposed to take the guy from the G League Ignite, Mateus Buzelis. Um,
Mm,
is a G League Ignite guard, small forward, 6'9", 197, age 19, American / Latino. His pro comparison is Lamar Odom. That's a pretty good comparison. I'm not to say Lamar Odom's not bad. Um, we're hearing he's being considered in the top 5. The San Antonio Spurs should be able to guarantee themselves one of Nikola Topic, Rob Dillingham, or Devin Carter at number 8, and Stephon Castle figures to be in the play at number 4. But Gonzalez offers superior positional size and athleticism, better shooting, and more flashes of shot-making diversity. I'm not so certain for the Spurs. I would probably go with I don't know, man. I'm not so sold on Mateus Buzelis, but he might be a good fit pairing with Wemby. He's 6'9", so you never know, and he can shoot the basketball. So I
hmm
definitely would say that um, San Antonio got a good guy, but I'm not so sold on him. I would probably go somewhere else, maybe with a Stephon Castle at 6, where he's going to the Hornets. I would probably pick him over Mateus Buzelis. But hey,
Okay.
you never know. Again, he's from the G League. I like the way I saw Stephon Castle play.
hmm
He's from Connecticut, UConn, I believe. No, they would have said UConn. I think it's Connecticut University. I don't know which one it was. I believe.
Right. I don't.
Um, but yeah, but I would probably go with him more
hmm
than Mateus Buzelis. I feel like Matthias or whatever his name is would really go well with the Hornets more than the Spurs. But pairing Wemby 7'4" with 6'9" is not bad.
Yeah.
Now moving to number 5, you have the Detroit Pistons. Now they suck. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA. They're going to go with
The
Cody.
worst.
Huh?
I said no. I said yeah. The worst.
Oh, the worst. I thought you said the Spurs.
Oh no.
I was like, no, they're not that bad.
They're not that bad. Nah.
Pistons are really bad.
Yeah.
Cody Williams, he's a small forward / power forward from the University of Colorado.
hmm
He's 6'7", 178, freshman American. His pro comparison is Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels is one of the best small forward / power forward defenders in the NBA, and his shot making ability is pretty good. So I would say that's a pretty good comparison. I like him going to the Pistons. I think you need a guy that's good on defense, that's good on shot making, and if his pro
Right.
comparison is to Jaden McDaniels, that's a great pro comparison to have. And Williams could easily fit in Detroit either at the 3 or the 4, particularly even if he gets close to his 41.5 3-point percentage from college. This man shot over 41% from college from the 3-point range, and he's 6'7". That's not
Yeah.
bad. So I definitely think. What do you think on that? I think that's a really good pick.
I think that's solid. I can see him adding some help. It's going to take a lot of help for that team to be somewhat good or decent
Oh yeah,
this upcoming year, but it's a step. It's a step in the right direction,
hell yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, well, potentially, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you never know with the Pistons.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely not.
now we said Charlotte Hornets, Stephon Castle. I would like to see Stephon Castle go to the Spurs and Mateus go to the Hornets. But more on Stephon Castle. He's out of Connecticut, shooting guard, 6'6". That's why I said you should go with Stephon Castle. He's a shooting guard, but he still has that size. The difference of
Right.
3 inches to a guy that is kind of coming out of the G League. I like the shooting guard, 6'6", 210.
Mm-hmm.
His pro comparison is to Anthony Black. Anthony Black was one of the top NBA prospects and picks from last year's draft. Not a bad
Okay.
comparison. Even the team in the lottery would discuss Stephon Castle. They're going to convert the idea of 6'6" defensive stopper who handles the ball and passes, possesses great potential, strength, and just needs some improved shooting touch to unlock a unique potential trajectory and archetype. He's a strong fit between the shot makers LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. The Hornets would value his ball-moving defense and winning intangibles. Yeah, I like that, but you have a LaMelo Ball. You have a Brandon Miller already. Why don't
Mm-hmm.
you go with a guy that's 6'9", 200, that can really be your anchor on defense and offense as one of your bigs, if not your power forward, and then you have a
Right.
center. I probably would go with the 6'9" over the 6'6", and I think that would the 6'6" would go better with the Spurs.
Yeah.
6'9".
Same.
But again, who knows? Again, we don't know. This is just what they said. But now, moving from there, you have the Trailblazers picking Donovan Clangan. This man has been absolutely fantastic for the I believe UConn team. Connecticut physician center, 7'2", 282. He's 20 years old. He's a sophomore, American. His pro comparison is Roy Hibbert. If you don't remember him, Vaughn, he was on the Pacers. That was when Paul George was there when they versed
I
Miami.
definitely remember him.
Yeah,
he was once a Laker. So
yeah, he was. I
uh-huh.
kind of like this pick from Portland. They need a big. They need a guy that can move. They need a guy that make
Absolutely.
timely shots. Again, for Portland, he's add a different element of physicality and rim protection
Mm-hmm.
to the rotation. The Blazers wouldn't have room for Rob Dillingham and Ron Holland's shooting raises questions about his fit, and Clinging is simply too rare of a prospect compared to a 21-year-old Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect is one of the top players in last year's college basketball season, but he is 23 years old. So he's a little bit on the older side. You get 3 years younger. You get a 7'2" man, 282 that can do a lot of things that you need as a center and a defensive anchor. So I like this pick. What do you think?
I think it's great. I think, like you said, he adds great size, and if he is compared to like a Roy Hibbert, that means his touch around the basket is incredible. Having
Yeah.
someone like that who adds the size, who adds the competitive nature, just based off his build, I think he could be a very solid pick for them for
I, I
sure.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
Um, Now the Spurs are again at number 8. They got this trade in via the Raptors. They're
got you.
projected to pick the guy from Providence, Devin Carter. Devin Carter's from Providence, point guard / shooting guard, 6'2", 193, age / year 22. He's a junior American. His pro comparison is Derek White. Now, if they get this, then that pick of a 6'9" guy could end up really well. But I would still go with the 6'6" pairing with the 6'2". You got the point guard, then you got a shooting guard in that guy in Castle, and then the 6'9"
Hmm.
goes to the Hornets, which can add more height to a LaMelo Ball team, a Brandon Miller team, and then add Matez. So I think that's great. One of the top perimeter defenders in the draft with a 6'9" wingspan and 77 career blocks at 6'2" in socks. That's pretty good.
Wow,
He's
that's
also
incredible.
developed into one of the nation's best pick and roll ball handlers and a much improved shot maker this season at Providence. So if that's the case, then hey, roll with that shit.
No, for real.
I like him. If his comparison is Derek White, you see what Derek White's doing in the NBA Finals right now for the Boston Celtics. So Devin
Yeah,
Carter, I think, is a good fit for the Spurs at 8. Now, Memphis Grizzlies, they're picking the guy for Ignite. This is the guy I like from the G League Ignite, Ron Holland. He's been really good. He's a G League Ignite. He looks small on on television or on a picture, but he's 6'7", 197. He's 18
Mhm.
years old. Bro, I'm 2 years older than this dude.
and I'm 6 years old.
He's 6'7", bro. What
Yeah,
the hell?
at 18 is insane.
Bro, 18. He's playing in the G League. That's nuts.
That's
Pro
incredible.
comparison is Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore, again, last year was one of the top picks in the NBA draft. Not bad comparison. Now, Ron Holland didn't win over NBA teams with his jumper during his pro day. He's a candidate to slide with scouts, feeling comfortable about Dalton Connect's shooting and more compelled by Mateus Bozel's shot making and versatility and Stephon Castle's playmaking, defense, and impact on winning. This feels late like good value for an explosive 18-year-old wing who averaged 19.5 points in the G League. That's not bad. The losses, poor shooting, suspect decision-making have turned certain scouts off, but even without a reliable jump shot or high-level creation, he still put up big numbers using his speed, improved ball handling, athleticism around the basket, and streak shot making. This sounds like a little bit more of a Markelle Fultz type of guy. Guys that plays
Exactly.
defense, very explosive, but has a shot, but just isn't consistent. At least Markelle Fultz, on the other hand, had a shot in college and lost it and then regained it years
Right.
later. I
Years
don't think
later,
it's going
yeah.
to be this type of problem, but he sounds more like a Markelle Fultz, very shot streaky. When his shot's on,
Mhm.
he's on. It's more like a Markelle Fultz now than it was when he came out of college. But 19.5 points in the G League, he can do it against NBA type talent. So that's not good. That's not a bad pickup for the Memphis Grizzlies, knowing that they need a small forward, especially the loss of Adams in the regular season, Steven Adams, and then the uncertainty about Clark every time. He always gets hurt every year, and then
Right.
with the John Morant, with his suspensions and being hurt, you never know.
Never
But
know,
yeah,
man.
that's not bad of a pick. Now, this pick is going to be surprising. Dalton Connect, which is probably the best other than other than the dude from Purdue, the big man. I forgot his name. What the hell?
I know you're talking about from Purdue, though.
Yeah, Zach Edey. There we go.
Yeah,
Zach.
yeah.
Yeah. Other than Zach Edey, Dalton Connect was the runner-up for the best college basketball player in college basketball last season. He falls to number 10, which is Utah. I think Utah's got a steal in this pick for Dalton Connect. Yes, he's 23 years old. He is a senior. He's a little bit on the older side, but he's 6'5", 212, can make any shot. His pro comparison is Wally Sirski back. Wally Sirski back. I've never heard of this guy. So that might not be a good pro comparison. He might be an
Right.
older dude. I don't know, but I've never heard of him. After
Me
drafting,
neither.
yeah, I don't know who the hell that guy is. So if that's the case, then that's not a good pro comparison. But he might be an
Right.
older guy, and we just don't know him. After drafting 3 freshmen last year's first round, the Utah Jazz may be more inclined to add an NBA-ready player with a cultivated, surefire skill. There's a level of certainty tied to Dalton Connect's shooting and shot-making versatility. He's an easy offensive fit with his off-ball skill set, though tough drives and athletic finishes in transition suggest Connect has more of his game than a specialist's. We're hearing the internet in Connect starts at number 6 with the Hornets, but teams more enticed by younger prospects with theoretical higher ceilings could allow Utah to grab this 23-year-old at number 10. If Utah can grab him, this is a monster pick. I would expect him going higher, though. I don't think he falls to number 10, but if he does, this is a great steal for Utah in the draft because no one probably would thought that he would be dropping this low.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think this is definitely a surprise. Like you said, I wouldn't expect him to drop to this low, but I see it could definitely work. I think it works in their benefit to pick him up at this spot and at this pick if he goes this low. Yeah, this definitely could be like a game changer for sure.
Excuse me.
God bless you, man.
Thank you. Now number 11. I'm gonna kind of try to run through this a little bit, so we'll go either if we like it
Yes,
or
sir.
we don't like it. We've got
Yes.
the top 10 picks. Now Chicago Bulls are gonna pick Rob Dillingham. I think this is a pick because you already got a Kobe White. You most likely will have Lonzo Ball coming. So if he's coming off the bench, then this is a great pick. He's speed, he's shot making ability. I like this pick if he's coming off the bench, but if he's starting. I don't like it because you got Lonzo Ball most likely coming back to Chicago, as well as Kobe White as the shooting guard, if not point guard. I think if he comes off the bench, this is a great steal at number 11. You think this is a good pick by Chicago? Or you think they should go elsewhere?
No, I think that's fantastic. I think I love this pick for sure.
All right, cool. Now number 12, Oklahoma City Thunder. They were the number 1 seed last year. This man's coming out of Charlotte, which is a overseas team. His name is Tajan Saloon. He is 6'9" and age 18. Nationality French. His pro comparison is Obi Toppin. I think this is a good pick for the Oklahoma City Thunder. It adds more size. They already got one of the youngest teams in the league. Might as well add an 18-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They already got. What?
Yeah. No. Continue. I'm sorry.
I said they already got one of the youngest teams in the NBA. Might as well get even younger and add an 18-year-old to the roster.
Right. And I love what you said. You hit it on the nail. Like adding more size to that team is the best thing they can do. Right.
They're too skinny over there. They need somebody.
Yeah, they need some weight for sure.
Exactly. Now Sacramento, I think, got a steal out of Indiana. They're picking 13. They're projected to get Kelly Ware from Indiana. He's a center. He's 7 feet tall and 230 pounds. He's a sophomore and only 20 years old. His pro comparison is Brook Lopez. He's able to shoot the lights out the ball. So I think this is a great pickup for Sacramento, adding more size to help out Sabonis. So Sabonis power forward, and then you have a legitimate rim protector and a 7-footer at the center position. That would be scary on them. I like that pick definitely.
Yeah, he also has the size that he can stretch out the floor like a Brook Lopez. Yeah. Lights out from 3. So you got a rim protector and someone that can stretch the floor, especially in this day and age of the NBA. That is so pivotal. So,
hell yeah, without a doubt. Now at
Sacramento's already a good team, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now at number 14, Portland Trailblazers have another pick via the Warriors, Tristan da Silva. He's from the University of Colorado, small forward, power forward, 6'8", 217. He's a little bit on the older side, but it's good that he's a senior. He's going to the Trailblazers, which is a young team that needs some talent. Mid-first round teams workout tour. He's pretty good when it comes to shooting, a little bit streaky, but not bad. Coming off the floor, they got a picture of him shooting a 3 from deep, so he's not bad. I like this pick. I'm not so sold on him. They could probably get a little bit better. I would probably try to go, if I'm the Spurs, maybe go with maybe try to get what's it called, the number 12 pick, which is that guy to go into Oklahoma City, Tajan. That would be great to pair him with Victor Wembanyama. That would be nice.
That would be very nice.
But then after that, we go to 15. The Miami Heat pick up Nikola Topic, which is point guard, 6'6", 198. He's 18 years old, and he's from Serbian. He's Serbian nationality. His pro comparison is Goran Dragic. I remember how Dragic has had great stuff. But teams were informed that Nikola Topic torn ACL at the NBA's Combine held for those who missed out on Chicago. The diagnosis obviously won't help teams that were previously on the fence. So we'll see if he drops a little bit lower because of a torn ACL.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks, man, especially at the Combine.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
That's the worst time to have an injury.
Exactly. Sure. Right when you're about to get drafted. But I think that's a good pick for Miami. But again, I probably would, if I'm Miami, I probably go with this guy, even though he's going to Philly, supposedly according to Bleacher Report, is Jacoby Walter from Baylor. Yeah. He's a stretch forward, shooting guard / small forward. He's 6'4", 198, a freshman in freshman in college. His comparison Katavious Caldwell-Pope. That guy's a knockdown shooter.
Yeah.
That's a comparison. If you got a comparison to anybody, if you're a shooter, Caldwell-Pope, he was just in the finals last year. So I like that. Now, this is a weird one. Bleacher Report has the Lakers picking Zach Edey. I don't know. That could be something. But he's a little slow for me.
Right.
He's not as fast as I thought he could be. At the Lakers pick Zach Edey. I don't know, man. I think if we pick Zach Edey, that would make Anthony Davis be at the 4, LeBron at the 3, and then we look at some other stuff. But I don't know. I don't like Zach Edey going to Lakers. I would probably try to get Jared McCain
Yeah.
from Duke. And he's going 18 to the Magic. I think the Magic would do better with Zach Edey, and I with Paolo Banchero, and I think Orlando would be better with him. I would like Jared McCain to come to the Lakers because we could say F D'Lo and have Jared McCain as our starting point guard. I like that much better than Zach Edey. But again, you see what happens. But Zach Edey's 7'4", 299. He's almost 300 pounds, and he's Victor Wembanyama's height. That's not bad, but that's a lot. That's a lot of size to run up and floor down the court with LeBron.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Magic picking Jared McCain. I just said I think it's a swap. I think we pick McCain. If we're picking anybody other than Bronny at 17, I think we pick McCain. His shot making ability is great. One of the best shooters in March Madness. In that time, I like it. Now Toronto Raptors at 19, they got Kashawn George. He's out of Miami. He's 6'7", shooting guard / small forward. I like him. I think him going to Toronto is good. Got more size, got more shot making ability. I like that. His pro comparison is Delano Banton. I don't know who that guy is, so he definitely not a good comparison. Now Carlton Caranton, Cleveland Cavaliers out of Pittsburgh. 6'4", 195. He's only a freshman. He's 18 years old. He's a pro comparison. Nikhil Alexander Walker. That's not a bad comparison. I like his shot making ability. His jump shot looks beautiful from this picture. I like that. Now New Orleans Pelicans via the Bucks. Yves Missi out of Baylor. He's a 6'11", 230. He's a center. That might pair well with coming off the bench for Jonas Valanciunas. Or putting him in a lineup with Zion, Valanciunas, Trey Murphy, Jones, and Brandon Ingram. That could work. I like that pick definitely for the Pelicans. Now the Phoenix Suns look like they're going to go with Daron Holmes II out of Dayton. He's a center, 6'9", 236. They definitely need a better overall athletic center than Nurkic. Nurkic sucks. He's overrated. Get him the hell out of Phoenix. He sucks. I don't like him.
He's horrible.
He gets every year. He always got an excuse, this, that, and the other thing. He's a crybaby. He's a freaking coward. He's such a, excuse my language, he's a bitch. I'm sorry.
No, listen.
He's a full-on bitch. You might as well turn him into a girl. He just doesn't. He hates physicality. He hated when Draymond hit him. He cried like a little baby. I'm sorry.
Man, what did he do to you, Zach?
I just don't like him, man. He freaking effed up Damian Lillard's time in Portland because he always got hurt, and then he always fucking sucked in the playoffs when he needed him. And Nurkic is fucking ass.
I see that.
Let's get out of there before I go on a rant about how Nurkic is absolutely horrible. Now at 23, we got the Bucks via the Pelicans. You got Isaiah Collier. I like him big time going to the Bucks. He's a point guard out of USC. He was the guy. He was Bronny James' running mate at USC. He was starting point guard. He got hurt early in the year. I think as a freshman at 6'3", 205, this guy pairs really well with the Bucks. They need a point guard on the Bucks to help out Damian Lillard coming off the bench. I think this is a great talent. He could score the basketball on all three levels. I like it. He also plays good defense too. I've seen some games. He plays good defense. I like him. Yeah. Now the Knicks, they're going to go with Ryan Dunn, trade via the Mavericks out of Virginia. He's 6'6", 214. He's a sophomore, 21 years old. His pro comparison is Matisse Thybulle. That's a great comparison. That means he's a defensive threat. He can hit the basketball, shoot the basketball, a big wing defender like OG Anunoby. This would help out the Knicks big time, especially if OG gets hurt again. Help the Knicks big time. I like that big time. Now, the Knicks have back-to-back picks. At 25, they are taking
That's crazy.
Tyler Smith out of the Ignite G League. Power forward, 6'9", 224, age 19. His pro comparison is Channing Frye. If you remember Channing Frye in Cleveland back in 2017 with the Cavs, he played great. able to shoot the basketball.
Solid.
He's also lefty.
You know, left hands are pretty golden, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the left hands, dude, they're for some reason they look a lot smoother. I don't know why. I like it a lot when
Yeah,
it's
very
lefty hand shooter. I like it. Definitely like it.
same
Uh
here.
Now Washington, the Wizards via the Clippers, they got Jalen Tyson from California, 6'6", 218. His pro comparison is Caleb Martin. Not a bad pro comparison. One of the brothers of the Martins. One's on Hornets, I believe, and then one's on Miami. Both are really good. That means he can shoot the ball small forward / power forward. He's a 30.1% usage on a 13-19 California team. Does cast a cloud over his statistical production, but nonetheless, he's not a bad pick at 27 to go to the Washington Wizards, who need a lot of help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Minnesota, they're going to take Johnny Furphy. I can't pronounce it. Johnny Furphy. He's out of Kansas, small forward, 6'8", Australian nationality. His comparison is Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, one of the best three-point shooters in the league on the Brooklyn Nets, or was. So I think that's a good talent to pick at 27, or number 28, I should say. And then at number 28, you have the Denver Nuggets, man. They're just getting even better, bro. Kyle Flipowski from Duke. Second best player, if not one of the best players in the early of the season for Duke. This man is 6'11", 230, power forward / center. Imagine him with Jokic. Shit.
Yeah.
Jokic at the center position. You got him at the power forward position. You got Michael Porter Jr. at the small forward. You got Caldwell Pope at the shooting guard. Jamal Murray at the point guard. Holy shit. That is something. That's his pro comparison is Martis Wagner. That's not a bad one. He's a good shooter, good player, good defensive threat. How about that lineup, Vaughn?
That's what I was about to say. That lineup is insane.
That would be some trouble. I don't think the Lakers win any game if that's the lineup. I'm sorry. That's a huge lineup. That's a big lineup. But if you pair Zach Edey with the Lakers, if he was just a little faster, man, and not so big, 300 pounds, 7'4", that's a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight. And that's giving injury prone to me.
Exactly. He's not an alien like Victor. Victor rolled to the ankle and then pops up and then drops 30. Like
right.
It's not anything. But now the next one at 29, Utah via Thunder, Pacome Dajet, Rataharm, UNLM. He oversees French, 18 years old. He's 6'8". Jesus Christ. Pro comparison, Wilson Chandler, not bad. I don't really know a lot about him. I would say that's an okay pick for at 28 for the Jazz. Now at 30 to round out the first round, you have you have Boston Celtics taking Tyler Collect from Marquette, point guard, 6'1", 197. He's a senior. I think that's a good pickup, especially as a backup or a shooting guard. That would be pretty good for the Celtics. But yeah, that pretty much ends up our draft order for the first round. Now we'll see what happens in the near future after the first round. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. We're kind of pretty much done with our show. We'll end off on talking about the 55th pick that the Lakers have. Do the Lakers go up to get a Bronny James, even though he probably will slide to that 55th slot, or do we decide to say, hey, you know what? Let's go with a top pick in Edey or McCain, and then wait to the 55th pick and work some magic, maybe move up in the draft to get Bronny just so that nobody else gets Bronny. And then you have McCain or Zach Edey, Bronny, or McCain and Bronny. That's not a bad first two rounds. To me, I think that's a great draft, even though people are saying Bronny's not worth it. Well, his defensive ability is off the chains. His shot-making ability in the draft combine was put on display. His passing, just like his father, his athleticism is there. I think it's not a bad pick. What are your thoughts on Bronny before we end our show here today?
Honestly, I would say I would not run the risk. Like, to take him in the first round for sure. But I think I would say he would be available at the 55th pick.
I would
I would
think.
I would think, right? Because a
Again,
lot of
you're
people
getting
are not really yeah, because a lot of people are not seeing him as NBA ready per se. And I think that he showed really good upside. Like
yeah,
he showed that he has the athleticism. His he had like a 40-inch vert, if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken. Yeah, so he has the athleticism. We see that he has the passing ability. We see that he has different aspects of the game that could translate now. I don't think it's going to take much time for Bronny to get a hang of it. I think that his showing at USC wasn't the greatest. I think that you got to give him credit though. He just came back from cardiac arrest. Like he wasn't even supposed to be playing that early, and then for him to be coming back and doing what he was doing for that time period, you could tell that he was just getting himself back into the game. So we didn't even get to see like a full showing of Bronny. He looked like he got bigger, looked like he got stronger.
yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. I think to be honest, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers go first round because you have to secure LeBron's heart. Because I think LeBron, but that's not going to be the only thing. So it is other aspects because he still is in this free agency type of thing where he can leave or he can stay.
Yeah,
But you have to find a way to lure him, and so securing Bronny would be a very very good thing for the Lakers to see if that can help motivate him to stay. But I don't know, running the risk to take him in the first round, I don't know if it's worth it. And I guess it would just be fingers crossed to see if he remains into the 55th pick.
yep, very much. But
Yeah.
before we end our show, I know we couldn't. The draft took a lot longer than we thought. And then we raced through it the last 20 picks, and it still ended up at 42 minutes. But let's. What are your thoughts tonight? Do the Celtics close it out, or do the Dallas Mavericks push on again? I think I'm sticking with my Mavericks, man. I'm not. I said the Mavericks going to win in 7, 6 or 7. Obviously now it has to be 7 because they couldn't get the job done in Game
Yeah.
3. But it might be the Celtics' time. I got a lot of comments from me saying that it's a cakewalk to the finals. I think it was. You can say
Yeah.
it is off of one player because if Jimmy Butler is hurt for your team, that significantly lowers the odds of the Heat doing anything against the Celtics. If you
Absolutely.
take the Bucks and you take Giannis and Dame off the team, a Pacers team beats them in 6. That's not
Right.
realistic. I'm sorry. The 2 games that they won, Dame was playing, so you can't say that. One of
Hmm.
the games he played, the other game he didn't. They just magically won. You can't say that the Pacers did not basically should have won that series. They were in every
Right.
game, and if it
They
wasn't for
were.
Tyrese Halliburton getting hurt, they probably would have made it a much better series. The Knicks
Yeah.
probably would have gave the Celtics a run for their money. If OG was healthy, they would have never lost to the Pacers if Brunson didn't get hurt. I mean, they were
Yeah.
making a comeback, and then Brunson gets freaking hurt, and then they get blown out. Like you can't do that because I got all these freaking dumbasses telling me on my freaking Instagram and clowning me saying, "Oh, you don't know basketball or whatever." It's a
Hmm.
bullshit take, but it's not. If Stephen A. Smith is saying it, if Shannon Sharp is saying it, if
Right.
Howard is saying it, if freaking Ryan, everybody on these freaking ESPN, and I'm saying it, what? Because I'm not known like they are, so you won't listen to me. Well, I've been
Yeah.
saying it for this whole postseason that the Celtics have easy thing. Now they're still not fully healthy. The Mavericks. Luka is having 3 injections in 3 parts of his body just to be able to
Right.
play. He's got an effed up shoulder/chest. He's got a horrible knee, and his ankle is wrapped every game. You
Right.
look at it, dude. He's not fully healthy, bro. You can't
Yeah.
say you're playing a healthy team. Yes, okay. If you want to say Porzingis is not healthy, you have 3 All-Stars: Drew Holiday,
Right.
Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, and you might
Exactly.
put Derek White in that conversation too. You got bona fide 4 players that could potentially be All-Stars. 3 are definitely. 1 is right there on the cusp, and Porzingis always gets hurt. So don't tell me. They got Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Everybody else is not an all-star. There's nobody there that's an all-star.
Yeah, everybody just role players. So
Exactly. So you can't
yeah.
say nothing. All these fuckers that are telling me on my Instagram, just screw you because you don't know basketball then. You're just
Nah,
a Celtics fan and you just want to see the Celtics win, or you want to see my downfall of what I said. But if the Mavericks come back in this series and win it, oh my God, I'm going to say it was the cakewalk to the finals and you guys then fumbled the bag again. If the
fumbled.
Celtics lose down 3-0, there's the biggest
Yeah,
in NBA history again, and the Celtics will never have anybody's respect or anybody. They might win every game. They'll go 82-0. They'll be like, they're going to lose.
they're gonna
Because
lose.
you can't, if the Mavericks do it, the Mavericks got to do it. They got to create history
Yeah,
and be the first team to come back from 3-0. But imagine Kyrie's legacy. If he comes back from 3-1 against Golden State in the finals, the best team
yeah,
assembled, best record in 2016, they win a championship. He hits the shot to win it in 2016. They come back from 3-0 and they take game 7 in Boston.
yeah. That would be crazy.
After
And
everything that's happened. But
yep.
again, they need a lot of help. They need a lot of things to go right. So we'll see what happens. But I'm still saying Mavericks in 7.
Yeah.
I already picked them. You got to stick with it.
Yeah. I would say I was definitely saying that in the beginning of the series. I'm truly wanting to see Kyrie make history once again and do it without LeBron so
That would
that
shut
it
up
can solidify.
every hater, everybody on the
What? That would definitely solidify it for sure, and
that
nobody
would
can say anything.
that would put him at might be maybe one of the best point guards ever because two
Absolutely.
coming back from 3-1. No one's ever done that in the NBA Finals. He did
Right.
it with
He did
LeBron.
it.
He now does it without LeBron with Luka. They're
Mhm.
second to the year with them each other.
Right.
Mavericks haven't been to the finals since 2011. They haven't won anything since 2011.
Right.
And they have a potential time to make history and then win again in that fashion in Boston
Yeah.
after everything that happened with Kyrie
Yeah.
in Boston. That would be just like a complete FU to Boston. It would be fantastic to see.
It
So,
really would.
yeah, so
I can see.
I got Mavericks in 7.
Yeah, I'm. This is hard. I would love to see it, but I can definitely see the Mavs hanging on and pushing it to Game 5. Now, to say they'll push it to Game 7, that would be a miracle. But
Yeah.
I'm
We believe in
open.
miracles. We believe in miracles.
We do. I do. I'm a firm believer. I have a cross on my chest just to show it. I believe in miracles for sure. And I want to see a miracle happen. So let's go. Mavs in Game 7. Let's go. Let's go. Mavs in 7, baby. Mavs in 7.
I love it.
Let's go, man.
I love it. Now watch they lose tonight.
Right? It's all right. It's okay.
It's okay.
You go hard, you go home, baby.
That's what happens when you're a sportscaster or podcast and analyst. You're
Right.
wrong sometimes. Most of the time, half
Yeah.
the time you're wrong. But the
Yeah.
other half of the time, you should listen. So if
Yeah.
we're right, hey,
we your peoples.
exactly. You should promote me as the best podcaster in the world, because if I call this
Absolutely.
that the Mavericks freaking come back from 3-0, that would be not, because if the Lakers would have came back from that 3-0 deficit to win, I would have been like the man.
Absolutely.
If the Timberwolves would have came back from 3-0, I would have been man. If the Mavericks come back from 3-0, we are gonna be the men.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm 2-0-2. Third time's the charm. Let's hope.
Let's go.
Let's cross our fingers. Let's hope.
Let's go.
Let's hope. But other than that, Vaughn, it was a pleasure having you on yet again. A little over the time limit that we said, but hey, it was a great sports talk.
Perfect,
we did a mock draft, and we talked about the NBA Finals and maybe what happens with Bronny and LeBron for years to come. But yeah, it was great talking to you again. Great seeing your face yet again on camera. We definitely got to maybe try to do something in person and see each other in person, because we haven't seen each other in a while. So
right, man, we definitely got to do that.
Definitely there. But that's pretty much it for our show, guys, here on the Fire Sports Pod. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. You guys know where to find me: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram. Go check me out at the Fire Sports Pod. This is my man Vaughn. Go to Montclair together. My friend, my brother, And I appreciate him coming on and giving me the time of day to let's enjoy the podcast and talk some sports. So I appreciate that, Vaughn. And we out, guys. Peace out.
Yes, sir.
Your weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And I will see you guys on Recap Monday for Season 3, Episode 34. Peace out, guys.
Let's go. Magic 7.
Let's go, Mavs.